Hello students, today we are going to study the first chapter of computer, Introduction to Computers part 3. The first part and in second part we have discussed about some features of computer, some advantages of computer, history of computers and some generation of computers. In this video we are going to discuss the generation of computers and some different kind of computers. So let's start. First generation computers. The period of first generation computer is 1940 to 1950. Around the year 1920, an electrical device called vacuum tube was invented. It brought about a tremendous increase in the speed of calculation. In 1945, J.P. Eckert and John Mauchly, two American engineers, used vacuum tubes to build ENIAC, the first electronic calculating machine. Compute means to calculate. Since the ENIAC could only do calculation, it came to be known as computer. Many improvements were made in the computer since then. It began to be used not only for doing calculation but also for writing, listening to music, drawing, playing games, and many other tasks. However, it is still called computer. The ENIAC was so large that it would occupy a big hall. It had around 18,000 vacuum tubes and consumed a large amount of electricity. Nevertheless, it had a fantastic speed of doing calculations. It used to perform 5,000 additions in 1 second and 502 digit multiplication in 1 second. The ENIAC is called the granddaddy of the present computers. Computers like the ENIAC, which use vacuum tubes, are called the first generation computers. Though these computers were very large, they were not as efficient as the small palm-top computers available today. Next, second generation computers. The period of second generation computer is 1955 to 1960. In 1948, William Shockley invented the transistor, which replaced vacuum tubes in a computer. A transistor was 200 times smaller than a vacuum tube and it consumed less electricity. The first transistor computer was created in 1953. The processing speed of the second generation computers were greater than the first generation computers. Next generation we have third generation computers, and the period of third generation computer is 1960. In 1958, Jack Kilby invented the chip. He fixed many transistors and other electronic components on a single chip called integrated circuit, means IC. Today, thousands of transistors and other electronic components are fixed on a small chip. The third generation computers were much cheaper, smaller in size, and their processing speed was quite high. Next, fourth generation computers. The period of fourth generation computer is 1971 till present date. The present day, computers are the fourth generation computer as the result of the VLSI, means very large scale integration technology. A million electronic components can be fixed on a single tiny microprocessor chip. The microprocessor chip was invented in 1969 by Ted Hope. A microprocessor chip controls the entire working of a computer. It functions like the human brain, but it does not have its own brain, and so it requires a set of instructions, means programs, to carry out its functions. Today, personal computers are manufactured using microprocessor chip. Next, fifth generation computers. Today, efforts are on to make a computer that is based on knowledge based procedure and artificial intelligence, which will help a computer read what we write, speak and modify the programs according to the requirements. This will require millions of transistors and other electronic components fixed on chips. They will use SLSI, means super large scale integrated chips. Now, let me discuss some different kinds of computers. Depending on the size, cost, utility, speed and efficiency, Computers can be broadly classified into the following categories. And the first category is supercomputers. Supercomputers are large size computers and so they are also called monsters. They are used to perform the most complex tasks which require high speed and precision. It makes a supercomputer 90 seconds to do the work which your PC could do in 20 hours. Supercomputers are used in weather forecasting, defense technology, and scientific research. In space technology, they are used to design and construct rockets and satellites, launch them into space, and also control and monitor their movements. Next, mainframe computers. These computers are smaller than supercomputers, but they are very fast and expensive too. More than 100 people can use a mainframe computer at the same time. Large scale industries use mainframe computers in the design and manufacture of electronic goods and other machines. In large institutions like banks, airlines, and railways, these computers are used to store and analyze data or to maintain a large network of computers. Next, we have mini computers. These computers are smaller and cheaper than mainframe computers. It can be used by more than 10 people at the same time. Like mainframe computers, mini computers are also used by large institutions like banks, commercial organizations, government departments, and other organizations. Microcomputers. These computers are used in homes, offices, and schools. They cost less than mini computers, and only one person can use a microcomputer at a time. They are used to create and store documents, maintain accounts, keep a record of data like names, addresses, phone numbers of friends and relatives, play games, and listen music. There are three main types of microcomputers: desktop computers, laptop computers, and handheld computers. So, students, here we have finished our first chapter, Introduction to Computers. In this chapter, we have learned what is computer, what is meaning of computer, what are the features of computer, what are the advantages of computers, some different kinds of computers, generation of computers, and about the history of computer. On your page number 10 in your Navneet textbook, page number 10, 11, 12, you have some exercises are there. You have to try this to solve this exercise with the pencil. When we have next period, means on next Saturday, I will give you the solution of that exercise. Then you can write that exercise in your notebook also. Till then, goodbye.